The Mother Teresa of Pakistan, Abdul Sattar Edhi, Pakistan's one-man rescue mission. Abdul was born in 1928 in British India. Growing up, his mother taught him compassion and how to serve others, especially those in need. When he was 11, his mother had a stroke which left her paralyzed, so he took care of her for the next 8 years until she passed away when he was 19. Around the age of 20, he moved with his family to Karachi, Pakistan during the partition of India, and this move exposed him to the terrors of war. In Karachi, he was a peddler selling cloth, but later moved into a commission-based position. During this time of his life, he was extremely poor himself, but would give whatever extra money he had to help the needy. In 1951, Edhi officially created the Edhi Foundation, which at this time was just a tent by his house where people would come and where people who were ill would come and he would take care of them. At this time, EMS services in Pakistan were very minimal. EMS services all over the world were actually not very common until the mid-1900s. We had ours established around the 1950s, but ours was established by the government and provided by the government, and this didn't happen in Pakistan, and Edhi noticed that, so he took the initiative and did it himself. In 1957, there was a large outbreak of the flu. Edhi set up a tent camp with money that he borrowed to help the sick and those who had been afflicted by this outbreak. And this time was a big positive time for him because people started noticing what he was doing and the work that he was doing. So he got more attention, got more donations, people were more willing to help him because it was something that was needed and he was the one taking care of it. One of his donations was a very large donation by a wealthy businessman, and the amount of this donation was enough for him to get his first ambulance. And with this ambulance, he was able to get to the ill more readily, and he was able to cover a larger amount of area. Today, this ambulance service is the largest in Pakistan and services roughly 1,500 vehicles. And then they also have air and marine ambulances and rescue systems. Abdul knew that running this service would potentially lead him to helping Christians or Hindus. As an EMT myself, when people call, you go to them and you help them. And people were kind of astonished that he was doing that and he was helping these Christians or Hindus because they're Christians or Hindus, who cares about them? But people would ask him why he was willing to help, and he said, because my ambulance is more Muslim than you. And so now today the Edhi Foundation is very large. It's grown from it's not only an ambulance service, but they have many other things as well. They have a hospital, an orphanage, which also has adoptive services. They have a soup kitchen for those who are hungry or who don't have food. They have a graveyard. They have an animal hostel, educational services to help those who to help them get on their feet and be ready to go to higher education. They have rehabilitation services and welfare organizations. Then they also do refugee assistance help in their country and in other countries. And then they also assist with missing persons cases. And just a few more things about Abdul. He was a very conservative and honest man. He wouldn't take money from the foundation for lavish things for himself. He took what he needed, and then everything went into this foundation. He actually met his wife while taking care of civilians during the India and Pakistan war, and they were later married in 1965. Then last year he passed away in July of 2016 from renal failure, but his legacy lives on today The foundation is still up and running and is a big help to those who live in Pakistan. But that's the end of my presentation. Thanks for watching and have a great night.